watch this video to the end and make sure you subscribe to my YouTube channel, comment, give me a thumbs up, and tell me where you're watching from, and tell me how impactful this video has been to you. Guys, good afternoon and welcome back. All right, so this video is for us to discuss a pertinent issue that has been disturbing a lot of fashion designers. Now, I got some messages earlier last week about some persons asking me what should they do, that they notice that after each work or after each production that they tend not to have anything left in their hands or pocket or bank account, because they tend to spend almost everything in producing the work. Now, I made a call to one of them this afternoon and I tried to explain to her what she needs to do. So I deemed it fit to come out to make this video in order to reach out to a greater number of us, because I still believe and I know that some of us are also passing through similar situations, whereby after each production you tend to be broke, whereby after each season you tend to be broke, whereby after each week or month you tend to be broke, but have been busy working and you don't tend to see your money at the end of a certain period. Now, what is the possible cause or solution? Now, before we get into the solution, let us itemize or analyze the possible causes of this impediment. Now, one of the possible causes we might face is one, cost of production in terms of fueling, fabric procurement, sewing accessories, and cost of labor. For some of us who have workers that are working for them, now you and I we know or we agree that cost of fuel in Nigeria right now it's no longer conducive, it's no longer friendly, it's no longer advisable, ideal for entrepreneurs to engage in day-to-day fueling of their offices for production, because you tend to spend more money on fuel alone. As well, cost of procuring fabric, lining and stuff has also increased in regards to the dollar rates and naira depreciation. Now, these are also a great factor to consider when you are facing such challenges. Now, when you want to curtail this issue, the only thing you need to do is for you to know that there is what we call running capital, and as well there is what we call your savings or gain. Now, before you talk about savings or gain, you must have made sure that you have enough capital that you will use to run your business, because some of us think because we already know the job we don't need to incur any cost of production. The answer is no. Even if you are the one making your whole clothes by yourself, there are some unforeseen expenses that you might encounter that will be of great setback to you in your business. But when you have enough running capital for your business, you will no longer bother about the expenses you are making, and then you can now save at least 1/10 of whatever you have, or 40%, depending on how you want to save, from your income as your savings. Now, some of us think that if a customer is paying you 100,000 naira, that money is yours. The answer is no. The earlier you realize that the money is not totally yours, the better for us as well, because out of that money they paid you, you have to buy fabric, do the job production, and as well pay customers and pay your workers rather. Now, in some cases you do laundry where there is need, and then some of these things are in a bid for you to upgrade your brand, right? And then still know that the level of machines you are using is also going to affect you drastically. If you are using industrial machines, your cost of production will increase by ×5 or ×10 of what it used to be when you were using manual machines. And for you to be able to increase your productivity, it is encouraged or advised you go to industrial production, like industrial machines, both weaving and industrial sewing. But in this hard situation, how then do entrepreneurs or fashion designers curtail their expenses and as well make a living out of fashion? Now, the first trick you will use is to make sure you have a manual machine that you have fixed permanently, that is very good, that you will use to be doing some productions. Now, you make sure as well you have source of ironing outside electric, that which is charcoal or gas, if you can afford gas. Now, get your charcoal, get used to using charcoal. Charcoal is actually one of the best means of ironing when you know how to use it properly. Now, some of us think that charcoal is primitive. Before you introduce electricity, charcoal has been there, and this was what our forefathers were using in production. It's just for us to accept our situations and our environment and adjust, for us to adapt to the new trend of fuel, the hike in fuel price, right? Now, when you get your manual machine fixed, be it butterfly or buttonhole, make sure you call a machine repairer to help you fix it very well, so that the stitches will be as neat as industrial. And then get, if possible, buy a new charcoal iron, and make sure you have water, a bucket of water beside your cutting table, where you can cool the iron at will. Because if you have water to cool the iron, you will not be tempted to try using the hot iron to iron. By so doing, you tend to burn or damage the fabric. Now, when you get a bucket of water to iron beside you, it is advisable you add little bit of detergent, be it Ariel, Clean, Omo, any powdered detergent at all you can lay your hands in. Add a bit of it in the water, so that it will foam. If not too much foam, it will foam a bit. The water will be slippery, right? So when you cool the iron, the charcoal, the Ariel or the detergent you have there will not allow the iron to burn your fabric, no matter how hot it becomes, as long as you cool as often as possible. And as well, see, note importantly that in order to safeguard the surface of your fabric, you are meant to use the same fabric you are sewing. Bring a pieces of it. Now, dip it inside the water, make it to be wet. Wherever you want to iron, place the damp fabric on top of the main fabric and iron from there. It will safeguard the fabric from burning or possible issues, right? Or better still, you can start to use a white cotton or a white fabric for all your ironings, but make sure you don't use a red, blue to any fabric that might drop color, right? So these are more what you might do that might help you go further in your business. Now, furthermore, you might also consider reducing cost of labor. If you have 2 or 3 workers working for you, you might cut it down to 2 or 1, as the case may be. Now, you yourself as the CEO should get fully involved in the production stage, because when you sew, you tend to cut the cost that you have used to pay your workers in that direction. Now, the next available option to use as well is to increase your rate of production, your prices you use, your charges for your services. You have to increase a bit in order to cushion the effects of the extra cost in your production stages. Now, I believe this video might have given you an insight on how to progress in your sewing areas. Now, there's also another note that in order for you to progress in your businesses, in order for you to make wave or to be productive, you need to as well increase your machineries, your sewing tools and equipment, and all of these things are money. So most people, they go extra mile by taking a loan. Some persons go extra mile to borrow from friends, relatives, relations to invest in their business. Some go to bank to take loans, some take grants. So in a nutshell, most brands are also in debt to some other bodies that they are owing, but then they tend to work hard to make sure that they work out the capital they invested in before they can talk about their gain or savings. So these are the things some of us fail to understand. We only focus on gain. We don't even consider how to boost our offices or how to upgrade ourselves. So by the time you have watched the video to the end, you must have learned one or two things. You must have been consoled in a way for you to know that everybody is still struggling. All the big brands are still struggling to survive in any economy that faces them. So don't feel some brands are sleeping and customers are coming at will. Yes, some are coming, but there should be a little or more level of hard work, whatever you will do that will make customers to come in order to keep your business afloat. So these are more are what you must bear in mind. So let's watch the video to the end and make sure you subscribe to my YouTube channel, comment, give me a thumbs up, and tell me where you're watching from and tell me how impactful this video has been to you. Thank you for watching. See you in my next video.